Live in the ATL, formerly known as Outgoing 37. Lo and behold, I got on YouTube today and I saw your hate video first. Now, I went back and watched your original video, and good job. Not a lot of analysis, but I don't really expect that. That's sort of the thing I do. I know a lot of the TTC and the other folks in here do more trash talk, and that's cool. Everyone does their own thing. But I had to kind of get charactered up a little bit for you. The glasses, this is as close to your glasses as I could find. Had to throw on the hat, which I don't usually wear my hat this low because I got a big meat head, but I'll try and pull it down a little bit so it's down. I don't have that crud up on the bill, but I'll do what I do. This is a Super Bowl championship hat, which you get when you actually win a Super Bowl. So what's funny is I saw that hate video and I figured, you know what, maybe I'll do one of these. I haven't done one of these since back in the day with Big Nick when I went dark side on him and he did his video in his car. So your video kicks off talking a bunch of noise about how the only two real challenges we had, we got stomped by 25 points against the Steelers and the Saints. Good points. I mean, that can't refute the facts, right? I think you said we got fucked up twice. Because you said it twice because that gives you extra emphasis. That makes you extra hard, extra tough, which I would expect no less. Now, currently we have the same record. Currently we have played 5 teams that are the same, right? You got 4 wins out of those 5, and we got 3 wins out of those 5. You guys played Philadelphia, got your asses handed to you, and you eked out a win over San Francisco. So we're coming in here head up, right? So I'm not going to do a whole lot of actual game analysis. I'll do that on my real video, right? We'll leave that alone because this hate thing you did wasn't really about facts, was it? Right? Because you didn't really talk about any facts other than the score discrepancy. Then you went on to talk about Tampa being a zest pool. Now, I'm assuming you meant cesspool, and you don't mean literally a pool of zest soap, right? You went on to talk about the crime rate, and I said, well, I got to look this up, man. Are we really that bad on crime? Atlanta's number 5 in the nation. Tampa don't even show up on the first 3 pages. First city in Florida is Miami. I think they're down around 30. Okay, well, we're not that bad in that regard. And I thought, well, these started clowning Tampa for not being a championship city. I said, man, that doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Tampa not a championship city. I mean, we got a Lombardi trophy. We got a Stanley Cup. The Rays just started, but hell, we got to the World Series. We've been competitive recently, putting it out there. Don't have an NBA team, but Orlando seems to do all right from time to time. Arena football, we destroy everybody. I'm running out of sports at this point. We don't have a lacrosse program that I'm aware of. So I went out and did some research, because that's what I do. I do research. And I'm wearing the old school colors for you, and I'll be wearing these in Georgia this weekend too, just so we don't look like Atlanta Falcons fans. Forbes did a little bit of an article on the worst cities in the country with regards to championships. Now, you'll be happy to find out that Atlanta wasn't number 1. That's Seattle. Y'all were number 2. Number 2. 15 years since your last title. Braves, 11 NLCS appearances, 1 World Series appearance with a title. I'm not a baseball fan, so I didn't validate that because I couldn't give a shit, but I just thought it was funny. Hawks, 25 playoff teams since 1968, no finals. 147 aggregate seasons with 1 championship. And you want to say Tampa's not a championship city? Tampa's not a championship city? So I went further and looked up a Donovan index, which takes the aggregate of all of the championships in a given city. You have to have at least 3 major franchises. There were 32 teams listed. We were number 13. You guys came in at 30. Total Pro Sports rated you the 9th worst overall city. Now, the only reason I'm talking about all this is because I really couldn't give a shit whether Atlanta's good or not. It's the hate week thing, and I don't usually get into it. Trash talking is just not my thing. It gets settled on the field. We get to play you guys twice. Once there, once here. Y'all swept us last year. We were 3-13 last year. Your comment at the beginning, we ain't really been good since John Gruden. Bro, that was like 1.5 years ago. You act like it's ancient history. Now, the Super Bowl, you could say, is ancient history. Right? But since John Gruden, I mean, that's almost like saying since Petrino. Remember them days? You remember them? So then you took it even further. You said, I've been down to Tampa. Hell, Tampa, not only is it dangerous, but we got fat women now. You know I'm going to talk about fat, right? I'm a big boy, and no joke about it, right? But picking on the women of Tampa from Atlanta? So I thought, well, where can I go research this? Most people on the computer this much are scumbags. Let's look up the Ultimate Strip Club list, because I happen to know that we have an establishment named Mons Venus that's generally well regarded in the strip club circuit. So I looked for the top 10s. Mons is number 4 in the Ultimate Strip Club guide. Number 4. First entry for Georgia, 24, someplace called Follies. So I said, well, Ask Men. Ask Men's a little bit more legitimate. Mons Venus was rated number 6 internationally. Not a surprise, no Georgia club showed up on that list. Then you talked about everyone down here being fat, and I thought, well, I'm fat. Yeah, I get that. I look around, there's lots of fat people around, but, the United States is pretty fat in general, and I could have sworn Georgia was pretty fat too. Lo and behold, as a percentage, 28.1% of your populace is obese, according to the CDC, versus our Florida 25.1%. So let's review. You talked about how you're going to destroy us, yet gave no details or data about how you plan to do that. You banged your chest about how you swept us last year, which you did. You did. I was in Georgia last year, too, when you guys eked that victory out. How would you have 8 plays from the 3-yard line to manage to squeeze that one in? That was solid. That was a solid performance against a 3-13 squad. After just firing our defensive coordinator. Somehow you managed to skate through there after we knocked Matt Ryan out and Michael Turner out. But that's okay, and we'll talk about the analysis later, because you guys are playing good ball, no doubt about it. I won't take a thing away from you on the field, right? But then it just became more and more bullshit, more and more live in the ATL bullshit. So I had to do it. I had to try and clown up a little bit. I had to go with the glasses. I had to refute your points. And I got to tell you, man, I'm hoping you bring more data than this when you come to the Georgia Dome on Sunday, because I'll be out there. We'll be out there tailgating with the ATL Bucks crew. It should be a good time. So here's my entry for Hate Week. I don't do them often. And we'll do a bet. We can do a hat bet. We can do a T-shirt bet, whatever you want to do. We can make something happen. Am I, cockstrong about us being 5-2? Do I think we're the best team in the NFC? That was where you started it, actually, about Raheem Morris talking shit about being the best team in the NFC. Did you watch the press conference? Did you listen to what he said? Based on the number of losses, we have the fewest number of losses along with some other teams. When we got the win, we had the best record. You are what your record says that you are. How many times we heard people on YouTube talk about stats are for losers? Raheem Morris said the same thing. Stats are for losers. You worry about stats, I'll worry about victories. Do we have holes? Absolutely. Josh Freeman, an upgrade from, what did you say, Bruce Gradkowski? Really? That's who you're going to talk about as a quarterback of the Buccaneers? And you're going to just slightly talk about Josh Freeman? Look at his stats next to your boy Matt Ryan. Look at his stats next to Matty Ice. Go check that data out. Your boy's got more interceptions. He's got more touchdowns too. But they're pretty damn equal. And I thought you guys were supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. Hell, we were supposed to be lucky to break 500. You yourself said we won't break 500. And yet here we sit at 5-2. And when you look at the pressure, and this is the fun part, when you look at the pressure, we're coming to Georgia where Matt Ryan is 18-1, if I recall. Playing in your house. You guys have all of the noise. You're coming off of a bye. You should be nice and healthy. We're coming off a 3-13 season. We got rookies all over the field. We got injuries across our offensive line. Our defense, according to everyone, can't stop anybody. We're giving up 300-something yards on the ground constantly. And we're winning by luck. Just listen to all the pundits. Hell, Peter King had us going 2-14. So if we lose, we're exactly what everyone said we were. We're just beating the teams we quote-unquote should beat and losing to the ones we should lose to. But if y'all lose, if somehow my Bucks come through and play the way I've seen them play intermittently throughout this season, what does that say about Atlanta? What does that say about the Super Bowl contenders? Think about that live in the ATL. Think about it. And call in. We're going to do a live show actually in Atlanta on Saturday. I don't know where you are geographically, and I went to Florida school, so I don't know shit about geography. We'll have a live show somewhere up in the ATL Saturday night, and hell, maybe you can hook up. We can do it live somewhere at a sports bar or something, and we'll talk about it. We'll break down the X's and O's. But for Hate Week, I thought that was very interesting, the approach you took. So there's my response. There's my glasses. There's the old school puke colors. There they are representing. That's a Leroy Selman signature. That's a Hall of Famer for your records there. So keep talking your shit. Hit the books. Try and get some facts next time. When you come on the show, you better have some data.